President Trump says the United States has held productive discussions with Russia about a ceasefire and the conflict with Ukraine could end soon, while Vladimir Putin says he supports the idea of a halt in fighting. He says he has conditions. Ukraine claims Moscow is trying to drag out negotiations in the hope of making further gains on the battlefield. The US Secretary of State says he is cautiously optimistic about the chance of a deal.
There was what we felt was a very positive and productive engagement yesterday with President Putin and Special Envoy Witkoff. Obviously, he is on his way back. He should be back, and hopefully we'll convene this weekend. We'll examine the Russian position more closely and determine, the President will then determine what the next steps are. Suffice it to say, I think there is reason to be cautiously optimistic. But by the same token, we continue to recognize this is a difficult and complex situation. It will not be easy. It will not be simple. But we certainly feel like we're at least some steps closer to ending this war and bringing peace.
Marco Rubio there. The Kremlin says it is broadly in line with Donald Trump on a ceasefire, but there is still a lot of work to be done. James Matthews.
We've heard from Vladimir Putin in the past half hour. I can tell you he said the situation is starting to move. Let's see what comes of it, he says. And now he's responded to a Truth Social post by Donald Trump in the past few hours, which was a request to spare the lives of Ukrainian soldiers trapped in Kursk. Putin says on that, in case they surrender, we guarantee that we will save their lives. And he adds that Ukrainian authorities will need to give that order to surrender. I think what we're seeing is Putin characterizing the circumstances in a way that casts him as almost benevolent peacemaker in all this. You can see the value in it for him. This is the response to that post by Trump. He was quite explicit in making a strong request. Some might characterize it as begging. I have strongly requested, he said, to President Putin that their lives be spared. So now you have Putin saying, OK, I agree on conditions, but one of those conditions is I want to hear it from the Ukrainians, my enemy. Notwithstanding, Jonathan, the fact that the Ukrainians dispute the urgency of the situation faced by their troops, although Zelensky is talking about it being difficult, if this is resolved as a result of Ukraine asking and Putin delivering, that's one they owe him. It's a card played by Donald Trump that I think will trouble them in Kyiv about the whole context being constructed around talks towards a ceasefire and the peace possibly beyond that, to see the US president ask for lives to be spared at a time when he could have written something far more strident, far more belligerent, could have warned Putin to leave these Ukrainian troops alone. I think what we've seen is a demonstration of weakness where there might have been strength and support of Ukraine that would have been appreciated in Kyiv and other European capitals. All of this, of course, on a day that David Lammy, and you heard him there talking about G7 unity, coalescing around a sort of sanctions warning to Russia. He spoke about a coalition of the willing. Once again, we're left asking, where does Donald Trump sit in that coalition? His press secretary was out earlier today saying that we've never been this close to peace. Once again, the question is, what kind of peace? And in terms of being close to a just and lasting peace, it may be close, but it still is so far.